Hi my lovelies, welcome back to my channel, and for everybody who's new, I'm Leorah and I'm so glad you found me. So welcome to today's video, which is my review of this beautiful palette, which is as of right now unfortunately sold out, but I'm really hoping for a restock. Sweeties, this is the Love Notes palette from the Beauty Bay brand, and I bought this on launch of the palette, and this is how she looks. Now, I have a thing with these palettes. I'm kind of collecting them, you know? So of course this is maybe not on first glance the color scheme that I would usually go for in a palette, but because the Beauty Bay brand is so amazingly affordable and it's so easy for me to get, and it's a nice formula, you know, what can I say? So I definitely get all of these palettes if I want them or not. You know, don't judge. Okay, sweeties, this is what it is. This is what we're doing here today. And if you just found me, I'm Leorah. I'm a makeup artist and stylist. I'm living for colorful makeup and colorful styling. So please feel free to check out my channel if that is something that you would like to learn more about or get inspired. And of course, also my social media, which is linked in the description box down below. Check it all out and subscribe because I would love to have you here. Now, beyond the fact that you're going to see 3 looks here in this video, 1 that I'm doing on camera, and of course 2 in pictures later on, you're also going to see swatches, and of course at the end of the video you're going to see the review. I also need to talk to you. Surprise! Sweeties, I need to talk to you about something that has happened, because may I just draw your attention to this scratch here? Sweeties, not my husband. No. We have a new family member. Sweeties, it has happened again because, I don't know, creatures just find us because they know where to go when they're in trouble. Okay, so I'm going to tell you about a new family member, and before we go into the creation of this look, I'm going to also show you a little clip of the new family members so you have an idea of what I'm talking about. Okay, so that is what we're going to do, and of course I hope we are going to have a good time hanging out together, applying makeup, talking about life stuff, you know. That is so nice, and I personally think that is just so OG YouTube. I really like it. So let me know in the comments if you're up for that too. I hope that all the happy and fun people are here right now, so let's go into the video. Okay, you guys, here we have our little Francesca. That's the black one. That's the one we just now rescued. And she is now in a temporary setup here because we're actually in the process of bonding her to our super huge big Giovanni that some of you might already know. Hey Giovanni! Let's see him a little bit better from here. He is huge and he's gorgeous, and both of them, this one here is definitely a lion head rabbit, and Francesca seems to also be one, or maybe a crossbreed or something like this, because her lion head is not as pronounced, but it could also be because she's a female. There she is, the sweet girl, and I'm so glad we saved her. Right, Francesca? You're happy that you're safe too, right? Sweetie, yes you are. Good girl. Good girl. Okay, sweeties, so let us do a look. It's time for purples. Sweeties, it's time for purples. And yeah, and we're going to, of course, also do a story time as per usual. I am wearing the Natasha Denona eyeshadow primer, and we're calling it a day. No, of course not. Okay, so let us go in with this one, with the dark purple, because I want to go in with the darkest shade first, and let's see what happens. And of course, story time, sweeties. I need to tell you about our new family member and how it all happened. It all started with an IKEA shelf system, sweeties. This is how blessings can come into your life, you know, and this is how you can save life. Buy an IKEA shelf system. Sweeties. Okay, sweeties, it started all out with someone posting that there is a shelf system available, or like let's just call it a cabinet, but it's like shelves, and it's a big cabinet, and I was like, yes, I need this here for my studio, for my palettes. All right, so it turned out that this person even lives in my neighborhood and apparently knows me, which is so cool, and she was selling that on a second-hand WhatsApp group. okay, for like secondhand sell and buy stuff. Okay, so this is what happened. Now I went with my husband to pick up the pieces of that cabinet slash shelf system. Okay, we came back home, and I'm going to just like make this shorter because the story is kind of long, you know. So of course, like a lot of like fine details happened in the middle of all of this, but it doesn't matter. So we had to drive it home, of course, and parts were sticking out of my car, and it was a mess, but we had to like tie it down and whatever, and we drove it home, and then we parked in front of our house, and we were starting to unload the cabinet, you know, all the pieces, the wooden boards and all of that. So I was trying to take the first piece out. My head, my whole body was basically in the trunk of the car, and my husband had gone around the car, I think to open the guiding gate or something like this, but he saw a man. Sweeties. Special. Okay, so this man, while my husband was like walking and doing whatever he wanted to do, this man had a rabbit in a bit of a, I don't know, a sheet or something. He was holding that rabbit and putting it on the floor outside, like in the forest, you know. Our house is the last one in line, and right after that begins like some, I don't want to call it forest. No, I don't want to, because I'm from Europe. I know what real forests are. What we have is not a real forest, but it's all we have. Okay, so let's call it an oriental forest. The oriental version of a forest. Okay, so which also means we do have predators, you know, more than like wild dogs and stuff. We do have real life predators, and not a fun place for a bunny, you know. So he was putting the rabbit down on the floor, like to let him go, and my husband said, "You know what you're doing?" Yeah. Okay, so my husband told him, "You know what you're doing? You're killing that rabbit." Okay, then that guy apparently said, and I was still in the trunk. I was still in the trunk. My husband just told me all of this afterwards. So the guy said, "I know, but I found that rabbit further up the street, and I just didn't want him to get run over by cars," which is kind of really, it's kind of cute and sweet, but at the same time, it's like funny. It's like you're delaying the death, right? It's just like either it's going to be run over or it's going to be eaten. Really, is that a solution? Yeah. So in any case, it was not his rabbit. So my husband was like, "Leorah." Okay, so Leorah was pulling her head out of the trunk, and I stepped around the car, and I kind of took in what was happening there, and I was like, "You pick up that rabbit." Okay, so he took his sheet, he put it gently over the rabbit and picked him up. Thankfully, the rabbit was still on the floor next to him. I need to work. Wait, where is my favorite brush? Now I can't find it. I know it's here. But everything has changed in my setup, and it's kind of, it's a little bit hard right now. Here it is. BH Cosmetics. Yeah. Okay, so let us go in with this shade. Maybe this one. Maybe this one. This is the shade, what? Wait, can't see it. Lilac. Okay, so sweeties, do you feel that I'm excited? I'm very excited because I love stories like this. Okay, so he said, "But it's not my rabbit." And I was like, "I don't care. Is it the Pope's rabbit? I don't care. This rabbit is not going in this forest." So I said, "Hand over the rabbit." Yeah. Okay, I think he was a little bit scared, but at the same time also really relieved that someone took over this responsibility. And I personally have no problem to add more people or more animals to my household because it's crazy already. So what does one more soul matter, right? So it's like Noah's Ark, basically. It's my, yeah. Okay, sometimes I thought that my uterus is Noah's Ark, really. But beyond that now, of course, not anymore. But, ooh, did you see how nicely this blends? Wow. All right, so I got the rabbit. He handed it over to me and basically got dismissed because... Yeah. Okay, my husband told him, "Don't worry, you can go, we're taking care of this. We are going to like keep it safe, and we're going to hand the rabbit over to animal services, like to animal rescue." And I was like, "Yeah, Okay, so let's just take the rabbit home. We took it into our house, and we always have like a spare cage, and we put her in that, and the kids were oohing and aahing and super excited. And just remember that my husband just told all of us that we are going to hand this rabbit over, right? Let's just like put a pin into that, because that's going to become relevant in like 2 minutes. All right, so I was trying, it was Friday afternoon. It was crazy because all of this, picking up the cabinet and also finding the rabbit and all kinds of other stuff, and then all of that in the time, the most strenuous time where I have to get ready for Shabbat, which is our weekly holiday. Insane, you know, but I was trying to keep my cool, and then of course having to deal with my kids being all excited and asking 2 million questions. Okay, so can I pet it, and what's her name? And I was like, do you follow me? I just found we just found the rabbit. We just rescued the rabbit. How would I know? It doesn't have a name tag, you know? So I was like, okay, so you figure it out. You find a name for that rabbit. Now, of course, children are like, okay, it's black, so let's call it Blackie. Or, okay, it's Fluffy, so let's call it Fluffy. And I'm like, okay, no. Okay, then there was this voice. There was this voice out of the background. That was my husband's voice. And he was like, how about midnight? It's like, okay, getting closer. And the kids were like, oh, that's so hard. Fluffy is so much easier, which is true. But midnight for a black rabbit, that's kind of cool. So his next suggestion was, how about muffin? How about hopper? How about this and that? And then it clicked in me. And then I was like, husband, are you Googling pet names? And he was like, yeah, he had his phone in his hand, and he was actually sitting in the kitchen and Googling pet names. So that was fun, because that just shows you that he is ready to hand over the rabbit, right? Doesn't it? I thought it was hilarious. All right, so let us just build up the darker shade a little bit more, because I don't want to lose the effect of the dark shade, obviously. I also have to say that my eyes are tearing a bit, because something is blossoming these days that I don't tolerate so well. All right. So, sweeties, that is what happened. We set her up in her new cage and couldn't really decide on a name yet. But then my oldest son came home and he was like, oh, we have a new animal. Yay. Okay, so, and then he was like, so what's her name? And I'm like, and then he said, you know what, just look for something Spanish or Italian. Wouldn't that make sense? Because of course we do have already one of our rescue bunnies that is left, because of course we had a lot and we found new homes for them. But one of them is left who is going to stay, and that is Giovanni. So he was like, you know, if we're going to keep her, then just let's give her a name that kind of fits to Giovanni. Okay, and then my husband went back to his phone Googling names, and then he was like, I have it. I have the name. And then it was like, her name is Francesca. Okay, so that was of course not very easy. Midnight would have been easier, but it kind of really was so cool. So she's Francesca. Yeah. So the day after, once she had settled in a little bit, we started the bonding process between her and Giovanni. So Giovanni is neutered, so don't worry about babies in the house. It's all okay. It's all under control. But he has never tolerated anyone. We have tried to bond him with other rabbits that we had previously, because you know, we wanted him to be together with someone of his own kind, because it's just also so healthy for animals to not be alone, unless they're of course supposed to be alone. You know, there are certain animal species that want to be alone and need that for their mental health. Okay, so in any case, that's what we did. And actually Giovanni, he accepted her like he has never accepted anyone before. So it kind of feels like this was supposed to happen. This is how it feels, seriously, you know? All right, I'm wondering if I should have the dark purple now also in my outer corner, or if I should pull in that darker like red wine shade. What should I do? It's kind of very predictable to just do a purple look, so maybe I'm going to take the risk and put the other shade in. Maybe I'll do that. But I'm still blending because I love how they blend together. Can you see this? Can you see how smoothly this blends? This is kind of really, really cool. Okay, so in any case, so we have started the bonding process, and if you know a little bit about rabbits, that can go really, really fast. It can also take a lot of time. You cannot really exactly know what happens because it has a lot to do with the rabbits, you know, the rabbits themselves. Okay, I'm going to use this one here and put that in the outer corner and see what happens. So, but we have started the process, and that is what it is, and we're really, really happy, and there is not really any talk anymore about giving away Francesca. As if that was gonna happen, right? So yeah, so that is basically the story, and we're really happy. Like, we were all smiling and we were all so happy on that day when that happened, because just the feeling of having saved a life is just something that is, there's nothing quite like it, you know? And with all the stress, and the day went on because we also rescued a human, actually, I have to say. The day was not done with that, you know? But just let me finish this thought. The idea, or this whole experience of saving a life is just so it is just so beautiful, you know? So we should all do that. Yeah, I think it was an amazing day and an amazing thing to do, not because I want to praise us. It is nothing where we say, well, we are so amazing, because a lot of people are like this, you know. I cannot look the other way. If I know that there is this rabbit out there, and my husband is the same, he just doesn't want to admit it. If I know that there is this rabbit out there, and it's certain death waiting for that rabbit out there in nature, who has been bred and kept in captivity, and even beyond that, even if not, it's very likely that an animal like this is going to fall prey to a predator, right? So in any case, this is what it was, and we're just really happy that we were able to do this. Now I hope that we can bond them, and that she's going to have a happy life with us. We also then checked on the street if someone was looking for a rabbit, because, or an animal or whatever, you know, because sometimes you see people running around looking like they're looking for something, and then in that case we would have said, are you looking for a black rabbit by any chance, you know? But nobody was looking for that rabbit, so we don't know what a long journey the rabbit had already, but now she's with us, you know? Okay, so what happened later on that day, once Shabbat came and we went to the synagogue, to the services, we were walking our usual way to the service. Wait, I need to put on more eyeshadows. Okay, let us put on, I don't know, let's just start with this one because it's kind of the obvious choice, and I think I'm going to blend it into either this one or this one. I don't know, we'll see. We'll see in a second. Okay, let's just start with the shade Spark, and let's put that here. Maybe I should go with the darker one of the two reds, maybe. Okay, so in any case, we went, I with 7 children, okay, because my husband sometimes goes to a different service, because it doesn't matter why. We're doing okay, don't worry. It has other reasons. Okay, so he's going to a different service, so I went with my 7 children, and we were walking to the synagogue for the Friday night services. And what happened, we turned around the corner and we saw suddenly there was a man lying on the street, face down, on the side of the street. So yeah, I'm a registered nurse, sweeties. Yeah, just saying. There's more to me than makeup. And my son, my oldest son, Akiva, he's actually right now doing an education to become a paramedic. Now, he is too young to actually be a paramedic, but it is an education that he's doing to eventually become a paramedic. Now he's just doing the education to become a volunteer for paramedicism. I don't know how to say this. Okay, let us go into this shade now, which is the shade, wait, Cupid. Okay, So we just dropped everything we were carrying because of course we were carrying our prayer books. And so we basically just handed over everything and raced to that man on the street, you know. And he, I don't know if he had a dizzy spell and just like fell over and I don't know what, but in any case, he was not strong enough to pick himself back up. And that was really, really shocking. Nothing like this has ever happened. I need a different brush. This is not the right brush for this shade. I need a stiffer brush, I think. Let's try a stiffer brush. Yeah, so that was really something. Okay, so we took care of him, we stabilized him, and at some point I just flagged down some people who were walking by and requested them to help. I think that's how one says it in English. So yeah, and that was that. And then I kind of had to take care of my children, because especially the smaller ones who did not really understand what was going on, because they thought that he had passed away or something, you know, or run over by a car or who knows what. I needed to kind of give them a bit of a therapy session, you know, on the way to the synagogue. So that is what mommies do. Like, I don't know, this was multitasking on a very, very high level this whole day. Yeah, so basically all of that, and then of course like the normal work, doing laundry and then getting the kids ready and get dressed for Shabbat, because of course they are wearing nice dresses or like dress shirts and stuff like that for Shabbat. So they all had to get changed and all of these things. So sweeties, that was the day, you know, but still the overall feeling of, wow, we did really well today, you know, we really made a difference today. That was so, so cool, you know, and I love stuff like this. And seriously, you know, when I go for my workouts in the evening and I see all the street cats, I'm like, if I could, I would have a shelter tomorrow. I would have a shelter for street cats or for like whatever animals, if I could have the space to like have different species and stuff. I would have a shelter tomorrow. I would love this. I'm really, I don't know, would I give up makeup for it? I don't know. Maybe I could do both. Maybe I could do vlog videos also from the shelter, you know? But in any case, this is what it is. This is what my heart is, and I love it. Okay, so I think the look is turning out to be super, super pretty, and I'm so, so happy that I pulled in those berry tones, because it gives it a whole different dimension, which is really pretty. Okay, I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to still take my bone color mat and just work a little bit on this area here to have like the smoothest transition ever. And that is what it is. Now, what are you going to do? You're going to watch the swatches of the palette and of course the other two looks that I have done with the palette, and then we are going to meet here again with the finished look for the review part, so stay tuned. Okay, sweeties, here we are back for the review part, of course with the finished look, which you already know. Okay, sweeties, let us talk first of all basics about the palette, because I need to show you this one. Wait, let me close this so it looks like, isn't that the cutest thing? This is like an envelope, you know, like from the days of yore with the seal on it. Isn't that the cutest thing? So this is how I got it, love notes. I kind of wish there would be love notes in it, you know. Okay, so then we of course open it, and then there was of course bubble wrap and stuff, so that I took away, but this is the outer packaging. Let us look at the outer packaging. I hope the autofocus is helping. Is it helping? I don't know. Yeah. Okay, and this is of course the color scheme, as you all already know. Okay, sweeties, this is a very, very soft palette. So sweet and so gentle and so romantic. And of course, this is how a palette like this has to be, because this is the theme, right? Now, for me personally, love can be all black, and love can be all green, and love can be neon, and all of that. Now, this is more traditional, the traditional way of thinking about love. For me, love comes in all shapes and colors and sizes, and it's brutal, and it is nice, and it is depends on the day, you know? So I don't know if that is because I'm not 16 anymore and don't believe in butterflies. I don't believe in that anymore, but it sells well, you know, it sells well. Okay, sweeties, that is what it is. Now, you do get 20 shades in this palette with mattes and shimmers, and of course you have the beautiful, nice and soft color scheme with a few nice darker shades to deepen up the looks. Okay, so this is basically the basics about the palette. You do have shade names that are on theme for the whole theme. You do have a nice big mirror, and you do have cardboard packaging, and you do have the ingredients on the outer sleeve. Okay, so this is what it is. Now let us zoom you in and let us see about the look, and then of course I'm going to, oops, that was too close, then I'm going to explain to you how I finished the look. Okay, you can of course see that I did a red liner, a winged liner. I used for that, actually, let me zoom you back out. I used for that from Inglot this one, you know, the red gel eyeliner, and then I topped it off with a red loose glitter. Now, sweeties, this one is from Sakara. Just if you want to recreate this, use whatever you have, okay? Because the other day in the comments, there was a comment, can you please also list the glitters? The thing is, Sakara is a brand that is based in Israel, and it's just exactly the color of that liner, you know, but you can also use a black liner and put any glitter on top. It will also just, it'll work. Okay, so that is what it is. Okay, sweeties, how did I finish the look? First of all, on my waterline, I do have a pinkish fuchsia kind of a shade. And then what did I do under my eyes? First of all, I started out with this one and put it here in the inner part. And then I blended it into the purple and blended out the purple with this lighter shade here, the lighter purple. I don't know if it even comes across as a purple here on camera, but it is a very, very light purple. In my inner corner, I do have this shade, but it didn't give me enough boom, so I actually topped it off with this highlighter from BH Cosmetics, this one, which is kind of a, it's very, very cute highlighter, which I also have here. This is the Snow Angel. You know, Snow Angel highlighter, and this is basically, is that all? Let me just check in the mirror. Is that all I did? I think this is all I did. All right, sweeties. Yeah, so that is the whole experience. Now, maybe you know, if you're not new here, that I previously had a lot of trouble with creasing with the Beauty Bay brand shimmers. Now, I figured out what will help me, and I'm going to make an extra video on this, just telling you about how I'm getting my shimmers not to crease anymore. Okay, I'm going to make a dedicated video just so you know that this is good for me. You know, this is very, very good for me. There's no separation, there's no issue. If I would not use my strategy sounds like I'm a world leader. Okay, if I would not use my strategy, there might be creasing. I don't know. I didn't even go there. You know, I immediately went to my strategy. Okay, sweeties, video is coming at some point soon. All right, so I have to say that the matte formula is spectacular, also in the swatching and also in the build-up when you're using it on your face or like on your eyes with the brush. It's beautiful, it's buildable, it's super blendable, it's absolutely beautiful. I love the formula in these palettes so bad. And the shimmer formula is also super smooth. The only one actually that I did not like too much is actually this shimmer. There's nothing really wrong with it. I just feel that it is a little bit less sparkly than the other ones. And that is just a matter of taste. It is not a matter of performance. So, but that is really it. So that's also the reason why in my look, I forgot to tell you beforehand, I'm sorry, because this is what I actually put on my lid here. And I then later on topped it off with this one, which is of course also a shimmer, but a little bit lighter, but it is a little bit more sparkly. And I just really wanted that. So basically what you're seeing here on my lid is a mixture of these two shades, you know? Okay, so I really went into all of the color schemes within the looks that I did with this palette, and I feel like this was beautiful. It was absolutely beautiful, you know. I'm very, very grateful though for these 3 mattes, the dark mattes, because without those, this palette would not be, I would not buy it. I would not buy it, you know, because as soft as it is and as much as I want to collect it, I still want to be able to use it if I want to. And these 3 mattes make it usable for me. This is, or make it workable for me. I still want to be able, if I want the drama, to have the drama, you know, and there you go. And beyond that, of course, it is a very, very soft palette. So if this is something that you like, then I really, really hope that they'll restock it at least one time, because that would be great, because this, I think a lot of people really, really liked. Yeah, so I'm very, very glad that I got this when it launched, because it's a beautiful palette, and again, the performance was really nice. I should also tell you, and I was really, really surprised that actually the staining, there was really very, very minimal staining, and I did expect staining from these shades. And I have to say there was very, very little, just a hint, just a tiny hint, you know, and that is really, really cool. Yeah, so I did have a lot of fun with this, and especially when you're able to, or if you want to, pull in some loose glitter with like hearts and whatever, you know, you can like blow this out of proportion. It would be so great, you know. And I personally really, really like those glitter liners. I did, I think today, and also in the second look, I did a glitter liner because I really, really like it. For me, it's just so much fun. And it's kind of so nice when you like blink and then everybody sees like there's something sparkling there. I love this. Now, not everybody can tolerate it, but it is, of course, again, another way to also just like amplify a palette like this that is naturally more soft and more romantic. And I'm just, yes, I am a romantic person. I think I am. I just don't buy the BS anymore. You know, I'm too old for that. Okay, sweeties, that is what it is. Of course, I hope you did like my story time, and let me know your feedback, of course, down in the comments. I would love to hear from you. And beyond that, of course, check out my description box, because I, of course, have listed all my makeup there, and you will find all my links to social media, all my discount codes that I have with the different brands, and ways to support my channel in case you wish to do so. And by all means, don't forget to subscribe, because I would love to have you here if you're new as part of my tribe. That would be just awesome. Okay, sweeties, this is it from me for today. I hope you did enjoy yourselves, and I shall see you here super soon for my next video. And up until then, definitely go ahead and sparkle. Hugs and kisses. Bye.